to Doug and Doug Gaming. I'm Doug Jr. and Doug Third is not here right now. He's working at his real job, so making some real money. But we are here today with Jacob, and I'm sorry, I didn't catch your last name.
It is Caleb.
Caleb
And Godwin. It's funny. You're not going to believe
Oh,
this.
I did that.
I've had my name mistaken for Jacob. I don't know how many times, and I don't know why.
Really?
Maybe Jacob and
Maybe
Caleb.
there's something with it. I don't know.
Sounds similar. I like the name Jacob.
I knew that. I read your name, but I didn't catch Godwin as your last name.
It is Godwin, yes.
I know some Godwins, so okay. But they're a long way from here. So, well, Caleb has kickstarted a game that's all about crabs. And we're from the beautiful Emerald Coast area in Florida, so I think it's a very topical game. And so I'm just glad to have him join us here. By the way, we are at the Game Masters Guild in Crestview, Florida, so I want to give them a big shout out for letting us use their table space here for a little while. But we want to talk about this game. Now, first of all, what is your business name?
Our business name is What Pretzels, or
Okay.
longer, it's What Pretzels Gaming.
And why? Where'd that come from?
We do get asked this a lot. My
Okay.
brother and I, it's a really small anecdotal story from our childhood. We thought it was a funny little story, and we laugh about it all the time, that when we were kids, we were eating pretzels, watching some TV, and our parents were out shopping. When they came home, they opened the door, my brother grabbed the bag of pretzels, threw it across the room at me, and as if we were in trouble for eating pretzels, jumped up, poked his head up, and said, "What pretzels?"
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we laughed because we're 8 years old and 10 years old, and thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
And to
All
this
right.
day, it's it's funny.
Well, I
for
knew
us.
there had to be some little story behind it.
Let me check
So-
if I can edit.
So we got this game. Now, I have reviewed games. We play a lot of games. I love playing games, board games, card games, whatever. I have thought about, my son and I have thought about making a game, but we've never actually done it because when we sit down to do it, it's a heck of a lot of work.
It is.
And I'm looking at this, these cards that you brought in. There are a lot of cards, a lot of different actions on these cards.
Sure.
There's artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me just a little bit about what goes into this. This is really amazing
well,
project.
First off, this is Joshua, my brother. It's our kind of childhood dream.
Mhm.
So a few years after the What Pretzels story, we started talking about it would be really cool when we got older and grew up that we would make games together. Well, life happened, and finally, about a couple years ago, we decided we both have enough time that we can go ahead and get together and coordinate and start developing some games. So as far as getting a game idea together, I believe this started out as a different game, and the evolution of developing a game is insane. We started, and we actually have a few other ideas on the back burner that we start with an idea, and we start playing with it and expanding it, and it actually evolves into something totally different. So this game evolved from something else that we had, and it was more serious, but this, we turned it into something a little more comical, more friendly, more family-oriented. And so it was just an evolution process. And there are a lot of intricacies built into it. You're talking about all the different rules of the game.
Right.
And that is the hard part, is getting rid of all the bugs,
Yeah.
which our brother and I, will go ahead and give a shout out to him, that we do a really good job of coordinating with each other, that if I think of something, if he thinks it's a good idea, he'll build on it. If he thinks it's a bad idea, he'll tell me why. So we do a good job of coordinating with each other, but it's a lot of checks and balances.
Right.
And it is getting rid of those bugs and those loopholes, before play testing it if possible.
Yeah, I imagine. And then when you do play test, I'm sure you discover
More.
all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
Right,
it's
definitely.
Got to be. I mean,
But it's got to be a nice core to it before you can even play it, obviously.
Right.
So you can't play a totally broken game.
How long have you been working on this?
Year and a half, maybe a little
Okay.
more than a year and a half.
Cool.
That includes the artwork, all the intricacies of it,
Right.
and then even most recently just the small finite tweaks when we get with people like you,
Right.
who review the games and say ask us these questions, that you get a nice outside opinion, you get fresh eyes on it, and
Yeah.
that is insane amount of help.
Well, this has gone live on Kickstarter, so you are funding this as we speak.
We are.
I was looking at this earlier. Caleb had mentioned that he did the artwork on this, and it's really amazing. I compared it to a couple of games that I've played. The game Friday is a pretty popular solo game based around the Robinson Crusoe idea, but the artwork kind of reminds me of that. Even Lost Expeditions, which is a newer game, and so it's very cartoony, very nice looking, clean. And as he said, this is a family game, and I think the artwork reflects that. So I have no idea how to play this game.
Can we give you the rundown?
I'm going to ask you to kind of give me the rundown, and we'll give it a little shot here.
All right, so if I can go with my regular spiel, when I go to some conventions, I'll kind of, obviously I'll tell people how to play it. And so the idea of the game is that you're stranded on an island. Okay, the island is infested with crabs. There's various little crabs that, I think I have it shuffled right now, but there's a couple of them in particular. There's a horseshoe crab and a spider crab. A lot of the crabs are actually, they're real crabs. You have a coconut crab. A scout crab, I believe we actually made up. And on Facebook Live, we'll actually get you a close-up shot in just a few minutes. You got a hermit crab. Everybody knows what a hermit crab is. You got fiddler crabs, scavenger crabs, and then a king crab. So, and there's a few others. So a lot of them have names that you've heard of, but we take those names and we've done a play on words.
Right.
So the fiddler crab, he's playing a little fiddle for you.
Right.
And there's a flavor text on a lot of the cards, so this one is not your typical lullaby. He interrupts your sleep in the middle of the night and reduces your card count. But so the idea of the game is that you're on this island and you're stranded trying to get off.
Okay.
Okay. The idea is that you're wanting to build a raft to leave the island. Pretty typical. All right. To leave the island, you need a raft and you need some food.
Okay.
Okay. So your raft is built from these materials right here. That's your red deck. So you've got vines and you've got trees. You're gonna need 3 trees and 2 vines.
Okay.
But you cannot start collecting from this deck until you've played enough shovels. Your
All right.
shovels are gonna be your tool of choice.
Okay.
Not that you have a choice.
Right.
All right. So when you play 3 shovels, you can start drawing from this deck. You draw 3 trees and 2 vines. You can pretty much leave and win the game.
Okay.
Okay. But you have to have 8 rations as well
Right.
in your campsite. And in doing all of that, obviously you're going to be sabotaged by me and the other players with these other crabs.
So this is definitely a competitive game.
It is definitely competitive. There's no co-op, and
Alright.
we have talked about a solo mode, but it is not in the works because it's so built around sabotage and
Right.
take that and
Right.
the pun-driven mechanics that you can't really build a solo game. So again, play shovels to collect your materials, and then you can always collect your rations. And once you have the right combination, you can leave.
Okay.
There's a couple little nuances that there's a spear in here. Okay, there's
Right.
only 2 of them. You can take the spear and use it to replace 4 rations.
Okay.
Right? But it has a dual purpose, like most other things. You can also kill or destroy. We use the word destroy any other crab in the game, pretty much with the spear.
Okay.
All right. And if you look at the bottom of the main crabs, these are reaction cards. It says reaction.
Right.
These crabs will have an icon down here, and that's what you can use to destroy it. This one will have almost all the icons. This one has all the icons.
Okay.
So your first icon is going to be the shovel, and it says it takes 2 to destroy this crab.
Okay.
The next one is the spear. Then you have a crab cage, and this circular with arrows is your redirection, and that's what the horseshoe and the spider crab does.
Okay.
The horseshoe crab, think about a horseshoe, it goes right back to the other player, and that's it. Spider crab allows you to spider it off to anybody.
All right.
So in a 2-player game, essentially these are going to be the same card, but in a 3+ player game, they're going to be different. Allows you to spider out. So that's essentially the game.
Okay.
Your rations, there's quite a bit of different rations, but essentially they're all the same.
Right.
We went with some more comedic rations, things you're going to eat on an island that you wouldn't normally want to eat.
Right.
Saltwater taffy, I do like saltwater taffy, but you got little crabs in the background stealing most of the good ones. You got leather shoes,
Right.
apparently those are edible. A blobfish, which is really nice. A pizza, but it's, not the good parts of the pizza.
Yeah,
And
this is stuff like people have left on the beach.
Right, soggy bread,
Yeah.
an MRE,
Yeah.
and half of a fish, but it's not the good half.
Right.
So we have a lot of built-in flavor text in the game, and flavor text for non-gamers is the little tiny text on the card that just expands the game a little bit. It makes it a little more fun. If you're reading it, it doesn't really play into the game, but it adds that next level of depth. So again, if it's the pizza box that says it's not delivery, it's disgusting. So it just makes it a little more fun to read while you're waiting for your turn.
Yeah.
The day and night card, if we want to play the normal version, this is always played. With the basic version, you don't play this.
Okay.
And all this does is it's a simple way to keep track of getting rid of your rations because you want to eat every day.
Right.
So you have to discard a ration. All right, so that's that. And then we have our reference cards right here. So the actions you can take during the game are you can play a card from your hand, and those are typically, that's this deck right here. It's going to be the island deck. All right, you can draw a ration card, which is right here. You can collect materials if you have 3 shovels in play. And then you can discard a ration to take an extra action.
Okay.
You get 1 base action, and then you have the tent and the hammock that allow you to have extra actions. And that is played in your campsite and kept unless I steal it with the hermit crab.
Okay.
So Won't get too much more in depth, but that is the gist of the game. I mean, you can read the cards. We can go through if you'd like and play a simple game.
Let's go ahead and start a game and see. Now, what's the typical length of play? Have you figured?
With the both of us, it might take. I mean, if I try to beat you, I'll probably still lose. I'll probably lose in about 9 minutes.
Oh,
If it's 2-player, you can expect about a 10-minute game.
okay, so it's a short, kind of a filler game. And
It is. When you get 3, 4, 5 and 6, 6 people with the expansion, it can be a 30, 40-minute game.
Okay.
But it's
Right.
with every game. It obviously
I
varies.
imagine it also depends on how good the players are and
Sure.
how well they know the game.
With
and
me,
stuff,
it's going
so.
to take a little longer because I'm not that good. I lose most of the time.
Yeah.
So I'll keep my reference card here.
Yeah, I love reference cards.
Yeah, on the back you actually have your symbols, and if you want,
Uh-huh.
you can take 2, so you don't have to flip
Ah, good.
back and forth.
Okay. And by the way, just everybody should know this is a demo deck.
It is a
This is
demo
not
deck.
the final product.
You see little issues, little offset color and whatnot. No worries. It's not the professional manufacturer, but a local guy who's really helped us out. Can't
Look
appreciate
good,
it
though.
enough.
I mean, I like the quality. I mean,
It is.
Hey, for a demo deck, this is great.
That's the thing. He doesn't make this stuff, but we've gotten with him, and he was able to get this out for us.
Awesome.
And which is wonderful. We
Yeah,
can't thank him
that's
enough.
great.
So we'll start
All right.
the game. You shuffle the island deck. And excuse us, like I said, these aren't professional cards, so they might not shuffle appropriately. And they were already shuffled, so that should be good. And then we'll shuffle the ration deck. And then we'll shuffle the materials deck. You start with 5. You can go ahead and deal these out if you'd like to.
Okay.
5 of each of
apiece.
those, and those are the only cards that are going to be in your hand.
All right.
Materials and rations go in your campsite, which is in front of you, and they can go face up.
All right.
Okay, so because the rations aren't really any different, they're essentially the same. So good, we got 5, and I'll give you 3. Okay. So hopefully I lucked out, and I did. All right, so I'm going to show you a typical
Okay.
first play move. Okay, again, these can go face up because it's not a
Okay.
big deal. It's nice to look at every once in a while. All right, so if you get lucky enough to go and get a shovel, and there's quite a few of these, you can play your first shovel.
All right.
Okay.
I do have a shovel.
All right, so when it's your turn, you can play a shovel. We only get 1 action to start, like I said.
Okay.
So good cards to start with, if you can, are a shovel, a tent, or a hammock. Because
All right.
tent and hammocks give you more actions,
Right.
and a shovel allows you to progress through the game. So with your first shovel, you can bury a ration.
Oh, okay.
You can only do this once, or you can only have 1 ration buried at a time. And why you would want to do this is because there's a crab called a coconut crab. He's going to steal half of anybody's rations, but he can't steal the one that's buried. Okay, a little bit of logic built into it. So
Yeah.
if you stole it right now, you would get 1 card.
Okay.
All right. So that is my 1 action, and I'm going to discard. I'm not going to discard. I like my cards.
All right.
In my next turn, I will go ahead and draw 1 card.
All right. So the actions are first play a card and just following your lead. I'll
Okay.
play the shovel.
Sure.
Draw a ration card.
You don't get to do all of those.
Okay.
Okay. You can only.
Oh, these are the
yes.
choices.
Yes,
we get
these
to
are
do
the
one
choices.
action. All right. So now you played a shovel card, so it doesn't count as an extra action to bury a ration.
No, that is free. We're having a
Okay.
few things called free actions.
Right.
Free actions, I didn't explain it, are burying a ration when you play your first shovel, drawing your first material when you play your third shovel because
Okay.
it takes 3,
Right.
And then destroying a lot of crabs that you're being attacked with or redirecting. Those are free because it's
Okay.
not necessarily your turn, but you're reacting to them.
All right. So I'll go ahead then. That's a free
Yep.
action bury.
And Barry, okay, he's going to follow suit.
Right.
And if you want to discard any cards, I know you don't really know
Don't
the
know
cards
why I
yet.
would, so I'll just hang on to them.
There you go. So I'm going to make 5. Do you want to play discarding a ration? Amp it up a little bit, or do you want to leave it?
Sure.
Okay, so it's my turn again. We started on a day because we just got stranded on the island. We don't discard a ration the first day. It's nighttime now.
Okay.
It's nighttime. When it turns day again, we'll go ahead and discard a ration.
Discard a ration.
All right, so I'm going to draw 1. I'm going to play a shovel. That is my 1, and I don't get to do anything special with the second shovel, but I'm
Okay.
building up to go ahead and draw that.
All right.
So I actually am going to discard 2 cards, even though they're pretty good, because I need to start getting I need that tent and hammock.
Right. Right.
So
All right.
I'm done.
So I could draw a card.
If you would, I'm going to go ahead and step up real quick,
Yeah.
and that way people can see a little bit closer.
And let's see. I think I'll follow your lead. I'm going to need 3 shovels at some point, so I'll go ahead and play that shovel. And easy in.
You also played a
So I played a
shovel.
shovel because you said you need 3 of these.
You do. And you
Okay.
can't play more than 3, but you can hold 1
Okay.
in your hand. All
All
right.
right.
And I'll go ahead and add to that your shovels can be used, like I said earlier, to destroy some crabs if the
Okay.
icon is on there.
Right.
You can destroy them with shovels from your campsite, or if you have them, you can destroy them from the ones in your hand.
Okay.
Obviously, you'd want to do the ones destroyed from your hand, so you don't have to replay them as an action.
Right.
All right, so that's always good. So I'm going to draw 3 since I have 2. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and tell you I lucked out. So I'm going to play a tent.
Okay.
Now, a tent is better than a hammock. Hammock gives you 1 extra action for the rest of the game until you would steal it, or I would otherwise lose it. And the tent gives you 2 extra actions. So I have my base of 1 plus 2. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get these 2 extra actions. So I just played this as 1.
Right.
I get 2 more. I'm going to draw material. Oh, I messed up. It is already daytime.
Oh, okay.
So we have to take a
So
ration
discard
and just
one.
discard it right on top. Again, they're the same, so pick whichever one
So
you
put it on.
right on top is fine.
Top. Okay.
Yeah, essentially the same. If
Okay,
you want,
so-
you can put it underneath.
I got you.
All right, so that was what was supposed to happen first. My first action was the tent. All right, and I am going to draw a ration as 1 action. That's 2 actions, and I will play a shovel as my 3rd action.
All right.
All right, now I'm already excited because I might win this time. So my free action for placing the 3rd shovel was to draw material.
Right.
I'm gonna hope. Okay, that's good too. All right, so I get plus 2 rations.
Rations,
So you
okay.
can. There's a couple things that can happen. You can actually find a material, which is your trees and vines.
Right.
You can find double rations. Obviously, a really good thing because you need rations to leave. And you can break a shovel, and you can find a pile of rubble. Literally does nothing, but it's better than breaking a shovel.
Okay.
All right, so I'll throw those there. So one of the ones that I got is the peanut butter fish and jelly sandwich, and I did say that right. It is
Nice.
peanut butter fish and jelly sandwich.
Okay.
So again, we try to mix it up a little bit, have a little bit of fun. We got condiments. So again, you don't want to eat them, but I guess there's some nutritional value in there. There is a half-eaten candy bar dug into the sand. Nice. And then a bag of chips, but of course they're going to be sea salt and vinegar.
Right.
So that is my 1 action. I drew 2 cards, and then I played that. That was. I took an extra turn.
Oh. So you should have drawn one card?
One ration.
Okay.
My apologies.
Sorry.
I have played once before.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
All right, it is your turn, and I'm not gonna discard.
So if I played,
You gonna draw one?
okay, good draw. Let's keep 5.
Sure enough.
All right. So if I played hermit crab,
Okay,
can I take your tent?
you can. So the hermit crab will take anybody's tent,
Mm-hmm.
and if you have one already, you will discard it.
Okay.
All right. If you don't have one, it automatically goes into your campsite, and you get to use it.
All right.
So that is 1 action.
And hermit crab gets discarded at this point? Okay.
That is one of your currently 3 actions now. So you have
Okay.
2 more.
So I get 2 more.
You do.
All right. So can I play another card?
Yeah, those are your options over there.
Because
You're welcome
you
to do the same
are-
thing over and
right.
over. You can draw 3 rations if you want to, or
Because if I
Take your
play blue crab, that should slow you down a little bit.
it does slow me down.
Because now you are required to
I'll
take
take
3
that.
extra rations.
All right, so now the blue crab is mine, and because there's no icon on the bottom, all right, you're not allowed to basically defend yourself from it. The only thing, and there's no icon for it because it affects every crab,
Okay.
is the imitation crab. Okay.
Right.
It's a cute little crab. It's a fish, really. It's dressed up
Right.
in a crab costume.
Okay.
Okay, if I find one, I'll show the camera. But so the blue crab requires me to take 3 more rations with me when I leave the island. Currently, I'm supposed to take 8
Right.
or 4 in a spear. Now I have to take 11.
Okay.
Okay, or again, was it 7 in a spear? So
Right.
again, the spear would replace 4 rations. All right, so this was your action. I had to take it, and it just stays over here. So you did the tent or the hermit crab,
Did
the
that.
blue crab, and then you
Crab.
have 1 more.
One more. And I think I will take a ration.
There you go. That's smart.
Look for some vines. Hey, I got vines.
You got a vine.
All right, so that was 1 action. So I've got 3 trees, 2 vines.
You have 1 more action.
All right.
Do you have enough rations?
Yes, because I have a spear.
Very nice.
So if I play
How
a
long have you
spear-
been holding on to
I've
that
had it
spear?
for a little while. Yeah.
All right, so actually, I don't know. Without the spear, you might even have enough rations. So
I
you,
might.
overall,
I'm
you
not
did
sure.
really well.
7,
7,
actually.
8.
Yeah.
You had enough to beat me twice.
Okay.
So good
Yeah.
game.
All right. Good.
Awesome.
It's a very clever game. Very clever.
Good, I appreciate it.
Really like that. Yeah, once you get used to it, I mean, obviously, like any game. you
There's
get
a
used to
learning
it
curve for all games, and
uh,
that's why it's nice to have the images there. You start to recognize them. Oh, it's 3 trees and 2 vines.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
The green cards obviously all your rations, and it's nice just to be able to count those up real quickly. The fact that they don't really change other than the image
Right.
and the flavor text just for fun.
Well, and it all seemed to, like I said, once I got going and
Mhm.
remembering what I
Yeah.
needed, and and I say remembering, it's all right here. I
Yep.
forget to look and stuff, and it's all written on the cards. But yeah, it flowed really well. It's good. That's a great game.
Well, good.
Yeah, I think you've done an awesome job. We're gonna put a link on our YouTube information area, so you guys can go check out the Kickstarter site. Because that's what he needs now. He's got the games, got the
Yep.
everything in place.
What's today? Tuesday?
Today is
You see,
Tuesday.
we kickstarted Saturday.
Mhm.
Really happy with where we're at. We are a small operation. I say that my brother and I started this a year and a half ago. This game and made our business official. We have a lot of more great ideas.
Yeah.
But this first one is an experience for us, and
Right.
we've done our research, we've done the work, and we're continuing to do the work, and really proud with where we're at. So hopefully we can get funded. That is the
Well,
goal.
I got to tell you, I appreciate you coming by. It's always great to have the creator of a game there to teach it to you. Nobody can teach it like they can. So that was an awesome experience. So I just really appreciate it. Caleb, thanks so much for
Thank you.
coming down to Crestview and sharing with us. I hope you get this funded plus. Have you got some stretch goals set up? I don't remember.
We don't have any stretch goals. We talked about doing an extra card per 5,000 pledge dollars.
Right.
And our goal is 9,800. So if we fund, essentially we would have 2 more cards, and they would likely be promo cards.
Right.
And we already have 5 promo cards built into the game.
Okay.
And we pulled a couple of them out. The blue crab was one of them. The Sandy Claus, some promo cards. So we talked about doing that, and that's very likely to happen. We're going to discuss that in the next couple of days. Like I said, we just came out on Kickstarter, but the game is fully complete, and it's a
Right.
card game, so there's no real upgrading of the components.
Right.
We're going with a professional manufacturer, so the card quality is already going to be professional. The box, everything's going to be as it should be. I know a lot of games on Kickstarter have stretch goals, and I love them.
Right.
But those games are going to have the trinkets and the meeples and the coins and whatnot, and we don't have that with a card
Okay.
game.
No, that makes total sense. I guess one last question, and
Sure.
of course they can check out the Kickstarter page for themselves, but what does it cost if I wanted to support you and reserve myself one of
Sure,
these?
I appreciate you asking because it's actually something that we're really proud of.
Mhm.
So again, when I said we did the research and did the work, the last, I don't know how many months, 5 or 6 months, was largely talking to and researching, listening to looking at blogs about fulfillment, manufacturers. I've talked to probably 15 manufacturers,
Right.
and quite a few of them are very obviously they're all professional, but a lot of them are very well known. So it's hard to pick one. Why would you pick one over another?
Right.
So we went with one that we're really happy with, Bang Wee Games over in China. Great people, really good to communicate with. But what we're happiest about, I would say, is that our fulfillment side and our shipping, and it's that we're offering the game for $20 and it is shipped anywhere in the world.
Wow.
Which we had quite a few comments, compliments even, and on Kickstarter that it's not necessarily unheard of.
Yeah.
But it's, especially for somebody like us, a small operation, it's difficult to do.
Right.
So we're still able to cover all of our costs, profit a little bit so we can pour it back into the business
Right.
and develop more games. But we're offering that. We've had people ask, well, what about Switzerland? What about Singapore? What about, and a lot of them we were able to say instantly, yes, we've already asked about this country and this country.
Wow.
But we had one or two kind of throw us for a loop and, let me check.
Yeah.
I don't want to be, caught up with an extreme outlier.
Right.
But we were able to check, and our fulfillment companies guaranteed us that this is the cost, and we're still able to offer that free shipping. So the base game is $20. Okay, and that doesn't come with the promos. It doesn't come with the cards to play with 5 and 6 people. It also doesn't come with I didn't talk about this, but you have a couple of scenario cards.
Okay.
And these are going to be for extra gameplay. When you get used to playing, you can draw a scenario and say, oh, now your max hand is 10 cards
Okay.
instead of 5.
Right.
So a little bit different gameplay. couple of others. And one of them, you're going to build a boat instead of a raft.
Okay.
And the boat is going to cost. It's going to have a scout crab.
Okay.
It's going to have a spider crab. It's going to have the materials as well, and you're going to just play that way. And that's going to be it. So the expansion is going to be only $5 more.
Oh,
Again,
wow.
shipping is included for the extra $5. You're getting a lot more gameplay.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm also proud to say that of our backers, every one of them that's actually choosing to get the game, they've all went for the highest tier, which again, it's only $25, but it's a very reasonable point, and we're happy to serve that to get that free shipping.
Yeah, I think for an extra $5, why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
You know, so that's great. Well, anytime you can get a family game
Yeah.
for $25, that's, you know, that's awesome. So as you know, you guys a game, you've been spending, you know, $60, $70 on games. So.
I'm guilty.
So we all do it.
They're fun.
They are fun, but this is great. So it plays good, plays smooth. Nothing but good things to say about it. So I appreciate you coming out. So I'll just do my little outro. So for Doug and Doug Gaming, I'm Doug Jr. and Doug Third's not here, so he'd say goodbye to you too. But we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Don't forget to subscribe, click like, share it, and click the little notification thing if you want to get our updates as soon as possible. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.